Dan O'Connor of Hydroarmor Systems, and today's video is a horrific video that has to be made. I've been in construction for 40 years. I have dealt with hundreds and hundreds of construction officers and construction officials and building inspectors, and never before in my entire life have I experienced what is taking place here. I am not going to mention any names, not even the location, because I am going to load this onto my YouTube channel. I need to show you the distance between this residence or this project and the building department. It is 0.3 miles away.
Please drive to highlighted route.
0.3 miles from this project, and the engineer refuses to come here. This project is 4 minutes away from the building department. I have never even thought about having to file any kind of complaint against any kind of construction office, but this, what's taking place here, and because of the urgency of the project itself, this individual is an engineer and he should know better. I have the permit applications. I have my own personal engineer, a structural engineer on this job. I have a structural engineer report. I have the structural engineer who designed the repairs, and the fact that it needs urgent attention. Throw the camera at this building. It's the construction department. It's 0.3 miles away from the job. And when I get into this video of what's taking place, I'm quite sure it will blow your mind as much as it has mine.
Today is September 20th, 2016. This is an outside job and an inside job, and I'm going to show you the issues. This is like a first issue that you would look at. It's a crack in the floor. You can see that it's up. You can also look down. It's pulled away. So this is coming up and it's pulled away. This floor is going down like this and pulling away. Now the crack goes all the way through the closet from one side of the home to the other side of the home. This here has dropped. This is the basement now. You got a floor dropping over there. Here, if you look down the wall is bulging in. This here is a major support for the girder that is load bearing, and this is being pushed out. So now you have two things. You have the floor over there that's dropping, and now you have this wall being pushed out. Look at the gap down on that corner. You can see that, what's it, about 1 inch wide, maybe 1.25 inches. Now if you come down here, you look along this wall, you can see that there's no gap. The bottom wall is shifting in. It's closing the gap. So that's what's going on here. This wall is bowing in, and you can see this here crack here, which means the wall is coming in. This side wall, this is self-explanatory. This wall here, this over here, the bottom of the wall is shifting in. Only a matter of time before the whole wall just comes in. We have a pilaster here, which is supporting the main girder, which is holding all the floors up. The bearing wall is on the back, and the bearing wall is on the front, and this is holding up the center. There's walls above this that go to the second floor, and then you got more walls that go up to hold the roof rafters and ceiling beams. This is your main support for the center of the house and all the floors upstairs. If this pilaster were to kick in, use your own imagination. You got this crack here, the bottom of the wall is shifting in, and now the top of the wall is shifting in. You can see here, this is coming in, this is sort of staying. Now you got your step cracks here, this is all cracking up. So this is all coming in on the top here, on the top of the 12-inch block, and on the bottom is coming in. So the whole wall is coming in this way. We'll go over to the front wall. The bottom of this wall is also coming in. Here's a step crack. This is staying in place because you got the foundation wall here holding it in place. But this is coming in. But now the gap down here, you can see this pilaster has shifted in completely. Alright, so we got this wall coming in, that wall coming in, this wall coming in, and this wall coming in. Okay? And you got a chimney over here, which means that you got a chimney here. This is the side that we're going to open up and push the wall back and put wall pins in. And I have my friend Mr. Chimney.
This here is a wall replacement job. I'm going to be taking this foundation out. Jobs like this, these can be scary. Had the chimney fallen, hit that gas line, the house would have blown up and everybody dies.
I have an engineer on this job for a permit, but I can't get the permit until I give the engineer of the town a drawing saying where the water's going. See this? There's already something in there. Take a picture of that. Existing, what they call a dry well. When it's raining, the water's supposed to come out and go down into this dry well and then percolate down through the soil. Today is September 20th, 2016. All right, so this is the job. I applied for the permit, complete with my engineer's report and the specifications. We had called to find out if the permit was ready. And I was told that they need to know where the water is discharging to. Came over to the property on Monday and I took pictures of the existing underground drainage system. I went back to the building department and I was told that they need to know where it is and where it went. I specifically stated at that time that they must have some kind of permit and some kind of specifications on file. The engineer refused to even look. I went to the person behind the counter and I asked if it was possible that these records could be looked for, or at least walk down the hall and get them. I was told that I have to go down to the clerk and fill out what is called an OPEG, which means that it's an application for me to see public records. Now, why neither the engineer nor the person behind the counter could go down the hall and check the records to see if there was a permit pulled for the underground drainage system at one time or another, why they wouldn't, I don't know. Now the reason that he needs to know where the water is going is because he needs to know if the water is being discharged onto the neighbor's property. That's it. I then had to come back to the job. I poured water in the existing system and I ran the hose for an hour. And my people and I, we walked around the property and we could not see it anywhere. I returned to the construction office and I asked the engineer if he could come over and look. Just look. Do a visual inspection. We'll run the water and he can see if it's coming out anywhere on the neighbor's property. He's 0.3 miles away. 5 minutes. Wouldn't do it. Wouldn't come over to see that the water was not going on someone's property. Now he was withholding the permit until I found out. He wanted to know the specifics of where it was. And how am I supposed to know? I was told by the township engineer to come over to the property and dig it up. The procedure is to issue the permit and then the engineer could request additional work. That was not the way it was done.
the engineer withheld the permit and told me to come over and dig it up. At which time I said to him, "You are telling me to do work on the property without a permit, and that I cannot get the permit until I do the work." And I had someone else there with me, and so I have a witness of that. And all he did was smirk and shrug his shoulders. Days are going by, and I'm getting a little anxious because when it comes to structural foundation walls, a wall could fail at any given time.
The bottom of the wall is shifting in. Only a matter of time before the whole wall just comes in.
Bottom of the block is rotted out, and I think the bottom just gave out.
This is your main support for the center of the house and all the floors upstairs. If this pilaster were to kick in, use your own imagination.
I am under contract to repair the wall, therefore I am 100% liable while I'm on this job if the foundation fails. Now, when I told the homeowner, the building inspector or the engineer wanted me to dig it up, she was livid. She did not want to have any further portion of her property damaged or destroyed. The engineer could not take maybe 15 minutes out of his time to come over here initially and visually inspect whether or not the water was going onto someone else's property. So now I had to come back here and dig this up. This is the drainage system, okay? It is a dry well underground, and it is quite elaborate. Now, the township is very concerned about water not going onto neighbors' property, and more than likely have been for many, many years. And so any kind of elaborate system like this had to have had a permit and a specific design. Why neither the woman behind the counter nor the engineer could walk down the aisle and check the file on the property to see if a permit was ever pulled is beyond me. Go dig up the yard, is what I was told. So I dig this up. So I took pictures, I don't know, 16 pictures, and I brought them over to the building department to show the engineer. I showed the engineer, and he looked and he said, "Well, it's nice to have these, but I need a drawing." Because he needs to know where it is. I'm just a contractor. I was told to do a drawing. I could have drawn anything. Still, throughout all of this time, the engineer did not get in his vehicle and drive 0.3 miles away to visually inspect when the proper procedure should have been issue the permit, ask for the additional work, and visually inspect both the job I'm here for and this at the same time. That's the procedure. Simple. For the engineer to request a drawing on this, he should have requested a professional engineer survey company to update the survey. Makes sense to me. So I draw everything out. I sent him an email, and included in the drawing was a letter specifically stating the emergency on this job, the urgency on this job, because the original application was for structural damage and the possibility that that foundation wall could fail. And I'm jerking around with this bullshit, working without a permit because that individual would not issue the permit. Now the man is a fucking engineer. When he's reading the application, he has to have reviewed the report. He must have seen the work that was required. And I'm freaking out because I'm playing with fucking Mr. Drainage System when I got a wall in jeopardy of failing. I dug it out, I drew his pictures, and then I did the fucking work. If that wall failed, he'd be over here. He would fill out his little paper saying that the house was deemed unfit for human inhabitants, and the homeowner would have to move out. When a foundation fails, Township comes to your house, and this is what they do for you.
This building is declared unsafe for human occupancy.
There would be further property damage while I jerk around with this system that I can guarantee is on file at the department. I had sent him that letter telling him that we were going to have the work done. It was sent out on a Thursday. He got it on a Friday or Thursday night. And Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, he wouldn't return our calls. 3 times, they wouldn't answer the phones. So I also want to request that the phone system be checked over there to see if there's a caller ID. If there is a caller ID, then the woman behind the counter knew it was us and refused to pick up the phone. And there were several messages left on voicemails. Who was it that was responsible to call us back and let us know what was going on? The homeowner called on a Wednesday over there and asked if he had the paperwork, and he said, I think so. I don't know what she had to do to get the permit. The permit was not issued until October 5th. Now, that permit should never have been issued if there was a mandate that a professional survey engineer update the survey. We immediately called the office on Wednesday as soon as we got the permit number, and we requested a inspection. The woman behind the counter, she went off, she belittled Janine and stated that the permit was just issued. How dare we request an inspection? Obviously, she did not know that that letter explaining that this work was going to be done, she was called off the phone, and obviously the engineer must have explained to her that he had notification that the work was going to be done. She comes back to the phone. We call for an inspection, and the proper procedure is, once she was told that he had that letter, proper procedure would be to give us a date. Instead, she told us that the inspector would inspect at his leisure. I have a structural job going on here. He's 0.3 miles away. We notified them last Wednesday. Today is what, Saturday? So Wednesday, whatever the hell date Wednesday is, you got Wednesday we notified them, so that would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I have no idea when he is going to be able to come over here at his leisure. And now, I have to repair the system that I took up. And I had to purchase more stone because, you know what, any jerk-off contractor, slacker, could just say, okay, you know, we're good, and cover it up with the dirt. But I won't do that. I'm going to put 2 tons of stone in there. I'm putting fabric paper over it, and then I'm going to put the soil back because that's the way it's supposed to be done. And no one requires me to do that. And the inspector is not going to inspect it. God only knows when he's going to be able to come over here at his leisure. So what's it been, a month? This is a structural job. If it was just some other kind of thing, I wouldn't care. I'd just pack up my shit and wait until he was done being a jerk-off. The possibility exists at this moment of further property damage. All of that in the back, that is property damage. When the homeowner requested that no further damage be done. Now, you see this chimney? See how high it is? Okay? The top of the chimney is strapped, stainless steel straps. This is about a 60 or 70-year-old home. This footer for this was put in a bazillion years ago. There's acid in the water, causes a chemical reaction with the concrete, and it comes apart. All right? I got this chimney sitting in the air. What if that footer's rotted and all that weight is sitting here with nothing to hold it against the f***ing house because I'm waiting for the engineer to come over at his leisure? Anyone who knows anything about structural knows the possibility does exist that this chimney can come down, and I'll tell you something, it's moving. See where it's cracking? The fucking chimney is moving. I got movement on this side, look at this, okay? The movement, all right, where my finger is, right here, okay? The movement is pulling away from the wall. If this was backfilled, it would hold it from moving. There's a possibility that that footer moves and the chimney bows in the center because there's nothing to hold it against the wall. And it's fucking moving. And I gotta wait for him to come that 0.3 miles. If this chimney goes down, anyone's near it, you're talking about risking death, property damage. If it does come down, you know this place is going to be deemed unfit for living. The homeowner has to move out. And where's the chimney going to land? Is it going to go through that foundation wall? Everything that took place on this job, if there was a real question or if he really needed to know, he could have driven over here and checked it for himself. Could have went into the records and found out whether or not that system there was a permit for. Now, it's a pretty elaborate system, so I'm pretty like 95% sure there's records in there that states that's there. So why all of these problems? And there is no reason, justification, nothing I can comprehend that would be a legitimate reason for this to be taking place. The procedures are completely unacceptable. The fucking chimney is moving. You can see up in there where it's moving where it's moving away. I'm going to be calling my engineer who did the drawings, and I'm going to ask him to come and review the job to see and make sure the work has been done properly. He lives about 125, 130 miles away, and he'll come, and at my expense, for the homeowner. Because who knows when the engineer 0.3 miles away is going to leisurely take a stroll over. You follow what I'm saying there, people? Now, who am I responsible to? The laws of the state of New Jersey? Yeah. But my homeowners and my customers, they come first. I'm going to spend the extra money to have Dave come here and see this, but I don't know how long that's going to take. So what I'm going to do, I mean, let me ask you something. Would you backfill this and put the dirt in there to hold the chimney from moving? Would you backfill the whole thing? You know, he's so concerned about the water going onto a neighbor's job. Well, guess what? We had to put in a temporary discharge line. Okay? Because it's not finished or backfilled. We had to put in a temporary discharge line. Look at where the water's going. Water's going onto the neighbor's yard. All of these requests and all of this additional nonsense is so that the inspector knew the water wasn't going onto the neighbor's yard. Who knows what they're going to do, the two of them, from here on out? How long is this job going to take place? How long is it going to go on? How many other requests? Look at this. This is ridiculous. I'm going to backfill it. I had 2 tons of stone delivered I don't know, 2 or 3 days ago, because you have to add stone to this that got mixed up in this shit, and then you add the fiber paper or filter paper, and then you're going to put the dirt on top of it. The filter paper is so that the dirt doesn't get into the stones. Nobody's requiring me to do this, and I've got enough pictures and all that other stuff, so. J OConnor Hydroarmor Systems. We do basement waterproofing and structural repair. This is a structural repair job. Now this is the part of the wall I'm going to repair. Down here, I'm going to replace. Where once there was a horizontal crack, and this wall is bowed. Tomorrow, I'm going to put this wall back where it belongs. And this crack will be gone. See how big this crack is? The wall is now back in place. Never even know the crack was there. Where once you had a collapsed foundation, wall is back. Now the home is structurally sound. This is a horizontal crack. The reason it's here is because of lateral pressure. This is how much the wall has moved. You can see that the drain board is against the lower block, 3 inches inward. Now many people will say, oh, we got to replace this wall. I don't need to do that. I can put this wall back in place, save the wall. This is the wall that had the bow in it. This is where the crack was. How the bottom of the wall was kicked out, it's nice and flush. I'm never going to have a problem with this wall again. House has to be properly supported, but there's nothing I can do for this chimney. And it's moving. Whenever you do a job like this, you have to have somebody on the job who's got enough experience and can see what might occur, and then has to take the time out to make sure that it doesn't happen. Had the chimney fallen, hit that gas line, the house would have blown up and everybody dies. J OConnor of Hydroarmor, another foundation repair job. This is what's called foundation failure. The bottom of the foundation has shifted in. Now once upon a time, the homeowner had a drainage system put in that should have been a pressure relief system. A pressure relief system will eliminate the pressure on the wall, which has caused the foundation to fail. This existing system is inexpensive, obviously the lowest bidder. This customer, like all other customers in this case, called a mason to get estimates and told that the foundation has to be replaced. I'm going to put this wall back in place, and these cracks are going to completely disappear. This is how we fix it. This is a magic wand. I will sell you this magic wand for $1,500 plus shipping. And what you do is you take this magic wand and you tap the wall 3 times. Close your eyes and repeat after me. In the name of Hydroarmor, cracks be gone. And voila! It's fixed! But wait, there's more. For an additional $50, I will include the words, water be gone. That may sound a little bit silly. Perhaps you're saying, there's no way that that magic wand can work. Well, if you were to believe that a carbon fiber strip could repair this, or when it comes to water, if you believe PVC pipe or a box system is going to solve the problem, you might as well believe in the magic wand. And if you believe in the magic wand, and you send me $1,500 plus $50, plus shipping, you will only throw away $1,700, because whatever you pay for a carbon fiber strip, or whatever you pay for a PVC system, or whatever you pay for a box system, you're just throwing that money away. Why do I go through so much effort to discredit other systems? I have spent money on things, and I don't find out that I can't do anything about it if it doesn't work, or if I don't get my money's worth, until after it doesn't work, or I don't get my money's worth. My videos are seen across the United States. I can't do all of the work. It's not about me getting all of the jobs. It's about making sure that anyone out there is going to pay a certain money, and they will get their job fixed.